is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Happy Friday! Oh my gosh, we have got a beautiful weekend in store. I'm Devin O'Day, and it is our Friday edition. And we're calling it Farmin' Friday because we're going to be doing Roosters and Roots. We're going to head to Green Door Gourmet in just a little bit. And if you're like me and you've got backyard chickens, mine never stop laying. I don't know what. A lot of people in the winter, they say, oh, mine not only laying, I'm getting little baby chicks. Oh, so we're going to talk about eggs. And did you know you can even freeze eggs? So if you've got fresh eggs and they're coming out your ears, we've got some tips for you from Sylvia Gagnier and Chef Richard. Plus, we have got new music and a brand new video to debut from Bronte Fall. But before that, we're going to go to Murfreesboro Post land, and we are going to talk about the Murfreesboro Home Expo, and Jim Watson is standing by in our waiting room. We're going to talk with him, but first I'll give you a little bit about what the Murfreesboro Home Expo is going to look like. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jim Watson is with us from the Murfreesboro Home Expo taking place this weekend. It's going to be a big old home party, isn't it?
Yeah, we really hope so. We hope that everyone comes out and enjoys the show, and we're especially excited about this particular show because this is one of our half dozen or so pet-centric shows that we do around the country, and we feature a dog lure course, and we invite all of our attendees to bring out their four-legged friends and let them run the course, let them walk around. It makes for a really exciting event, and we love these particular shows.
Well, I want to send that particular segment out to Chris Kulik and our producer, Justin Kulik, who is actually working remotely today, because they have got a border collie that I bet the dog lure course would be just perfect. Very few home shows allow you to bring your pets, but this one actually does, because this special pet-centric version, we do Wagon Tails Wednesday around here, and we got a lot of pet people who watch this show. That's
great. And we're one of the few event producers who actually allow pets at all of our shows. We had a show in Cheyenne, Wyoming just this past weekend, and we had a number of dogs come through there. We always typically have pet type of vendors, whether that be pet treats or invisible fences, collars and all kinds of different pet products that we offer in our shows.
Well, that's so fantastic. Is there a way that you can tell us some of the people we might be able to see? Because I don't know about you, but when it starts getting, we are less than a month away from daylight savings kicking in. So people are starting to, yesterday I laughed because the Washington Post said people are tired of the pandemic. And I thought, did it take an actual journalist to tell us that? People are ready to get out and start working on their homes. They want to green up their pastures and their yards, and they want to change their roof, and they want to put new colors in. Can we talk a little bit about some of the people who might be at the show?
Yeah, no question. I mean, we've done 5 events so far in on our 22 calendar, and all of them have exceeded expectations. Obviously, coming out of what we all just went through the last 2 years, this industry took a beating. You couldn't find places to go, and nobody wanted to get out, and everybody was very concerned about being in crowds. There's still a little bit of that, but without question, we have seen very surprising and exciting results in our first few shows in 22. So, one of the things that Nationwide Expos prides ourselves on is we don't just get, row after row after row of the same and more of the same. We pride ourselves in having a diverse floor, and we have all kinds of different vendors. If you're talking about interior renovations, exterior renovations, painting, staining, hot tub spas, roofing, skincare experts, and our 90% of our attendees come as couples, which is great. That's what we want. We want both decision makers to be there. If you're looking at buying a hot tub, you're going to want to make sure that your husband is involved in that decision. And so that's kind of what we pride ourselves on, is that we target a certain demographic. We hit that demographic, and our vendors appreciate that because they know the type of person they're going to get when they participate in our show.
Jim, I lost my mind at the last one I went to because I got hair stuff, I got salad dressing making stuff, I got dip making stuff.
Yeah.
I bought a massage chair.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, here's the deal: is people don't realize is they have show pricing. So if you wait and you don't go to show and you wait and say, oh, I'm just going to go get that later, you're going to pay thousands more. They always discount at the show. It's a great way to really, and most of your vendors have financing right there that they can fix you up with.
No question. And it is not uncommon for one of our hot tub vendors to deliver a tub off the floor, after the show is over on a Saturday afternoon.
Got one of those too.
Happens all the time. So, that's part of what the show atmosphere is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be an opportunity, not only for our vendors to get in front of fresh new faces, but for our attendees to be able to get access to products and at favorable pricing. And so it's a win-win for everyone.
So it's today and it's tomorrow. Where is it in Murfreesboro?
It's at the Mid-Tennessee Expo Center, and that address is 1660 Middle Tennessee Boulevard, and free parking, free admission. Like I said,
did y'all hear that? Listen to what he just said. Free admission. A lot of and free parking. Do you know what I paid in Nashville to park to go see the last one? I paid $35 just to park my car.
Right. And finding a parking place. Here our parking is right out front, and it's very convenient. And like I said, we invite everyone to come down and bring your four-legged friends.
That's right. Well, I'm going to close with a little film of the expo so we can see and we can get the excitement going. And what are the hours tonight and to go on through the evening and tomorrow? What are the, or are you on Sunday as well?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 5.
10 to 5. So get yourself to Murfreesboro, the Murfreesboro Home Expo. Thank you so much for your time, Jim.
Thank you, Devin.
Take care.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Well, I'm going to show people a little bit about what it's going to look like there at the expo. Doesn't that look like a blast? An absolute blast. Well, I know Elizabeth, she's one of our Murfreesboro folks, and she said she's excited. And everybody always needs a little refresh. Hey, I want to ask you, I did a little search. I wanted to find out farmhouse decor because of Chip and Joanna, and down in Waco, Texas, they've really brought the farmhouse decor into the first and foremost. So I wondered, how long are farmhouse decor? Is that still a thing? Is going to be still continuing as a trend? And I wondered, and I did a little quick search, has Yellowstone affected the farmhouse decor? And the craziness of Southwest is kind of past, or has it? Or are they bringing Yellowstone and Western into farmhouse and creating farmhouse ranch house style? Well, we're going to take a look at one designer's take on Yellowstone in the home. And it really is a way to refresh some of the things that you might have that are kind of farmhousey and maybe even a little industrial, and to create a whole new look. Basically, if you love it, you get to do it.
We are sitting in the room that we now have started to call the Yellowstone room. I've been dreaming about it for a long time, but it wasn't essentially the Yellowstone room then. But then we went to Yellowstone, and as a family fell in love. Montana, Wyoming, all of that was the feel I was going for in here anyway. And then we started watching Yellowstone, and I became Beth Dutton. And this sort of became the Yellowstone room, and it's been really fun putting it together. So the inspiration for it is all sorts of things from my childhood. Like the first apartment that I ever decorated in college in the 90s was Southwestern. I just love that style. And I realized that when I started collecting things for this room, that a lot of the things that I collected reminded me of trips I've been on or things from my childhood. Like I have a gun over the door, and I don't know why it reminds me of Little House on the Prairie, which was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. I remember my mom having this Pendleton blanket, and it's the original Pendleton that you see that's kind of overall cream or white, and it has the red and the orange stripes. And I don't know why I remember that blanket so vividly, but it reminds me of, all kinds of glorious memories. And so I love the style and the colors and the texture and the warmth of just about everything. I'm like a Pendleton addict. And then the bed, my bed is a Jenny Lind bed, which I didn't realize I had a Jenny Lind high chair when I was a baby, but when I showed my mom the bed I was using, she's like, oh, you had that as a baby. And then, campy. So it's a little bit campy too. So what I imagine a 1950s summer camp for families to be, like the furnishings and Adirondack style. I search Adirondack a lot. And it has, the trapper furs, from the cabin, the Adirondack cabin feel, and just a lot of old stuff, because I love old stuff. I'm an antique hunter. So, and if I see something and it speaks to me, I buy it, and I can always find a spot for it, and it always makes sense. Even things that at the time don't seem like they would make sense, like this lamp that's in here. It has like a mountain scene on it. It's brass, and I just imagined it would be like on somebody's desk, and they would be writing letters home to mom from camp in 1952 by a lake somewhere. And so those things appeal to me. I mean, if you know me, earrings, hat, I love Native American culture. I'm fascinated by every aspect of it. The beadwork, the costuming, the traditions, I really respect that. And I love the Old West and cowboys, and I must have a very nostalgic ecosystem. My bone structure must be craving to be 100 years ago or more. If you find it challenging, all this seems overwhelming, what I'm saying, I think one of the things we try to teach our clients and our people is, if you love it, take it home, buy it, we'll find place for it. And if you love something, it's probably going to go with the stuff you have at home, because you love everything that's at home. So if you love something, buy it, and we'll find a place for it. I think a lot of people ask, how do you do this at home? How do you recreate it? I always tell people, buy things in threes, various different heights, collections, things that go together. But you know what? A lot of it is just bravery and an eye for it. I mean, it's not really something that's taught. It's something that is absorbed over time, I think. So when you see it and you absorb it, you can recreate it. And that's, everything here is dumb luck. Yeah, the best thing to do is hire a professional. I think I say that over and over and over again. Hire the professional and get out of the way. Show them what you like, give them your pile, and move. At Carpet, we now have an interior design department that will do that for you. So if you are needing some help, let us know.
I like to turn you on to things that I find, and you can follow K-A-R-R, BIC, Kitchen and Bath. They're on YouTube, and they've got some really great ideas. And I like it. It's taken things to a little different, and still in keeping with things that you've invested in for farmhouse. And if you are like me, and I think the most important takeaway from that, buy things in threes. If if 3 is like when you do floral design, you have 3 and different heights. So 3 flowers in a vase makes it an arrangement. 3 different heights makes it an arrangement. Same way with pillows, or maybe a collection of whatnots in a certain theme. 3 different kinds of lamps that are within the same color. Then you got something. That's a really cool takeaway from that. Now, talk about takeaway. I've loved ways to make our food last longer. And I've created a new segment called Roosters and Roots on our Farming Friday. We're going to head right now to Green Door Gourmet, where my friend Sylvia Gagnier and Chef Richard talk about the incredible edible egg.
So we have all these eggs that are now hanging around, and the best intentions have been met, and now we're finally ready to use them. Some ideas. Richard, tell me some of your favorite things to do with eggs. I just love them when they're hard boiled, but also I could even take these eggs right and freeze them.
That's right. So what you can do is break the eggs and whisk them up and store them in the freezer. You can freeze it into like ice cube trays, and that way you have a perfectly portioned egg. About 3 tablespoons of frozen egg is going to be equivalent to 1 whole egg in a recipe.
Now, do I have to do if I'm freezing something else, do I need to leave a little extra space because they're going to expand, or what happens to the egg in that regard?
It will expand, yes. And so you'll want to put that in portions, however much egg you have and whatever portions you would like to store that in, and then place it in the freezer on a stable area, and then cover it, but don't fill the container up all the way, otherwise that lid will pop open as the egg expands. And then boiling the eggs is a great idea. You're going to just take the, say, dozen eggs, boil them up. Oftentimes the fresher an egg, the harder it is to peel. The egg hasn't lost water content, and so the membrane is tight against the shell, and this is what makes it difficult to peel the eggs. So when you do have old eggs, they're really great for hard boiling and using in recipes such as deviled eggs. But this is also a really neat trick, a quick and easy way to create eggs that are riced, which is a term for something that has been forced through a screen. And ricing gives you the perfect texture for egg salad. And it's as simple as taking a tool such as this spider that has these perfect wire grid. And you can also use a fryer basket if you have a fryer basket at home too. And then simply take your peeled, boiled eggs and then just simply push it through the screen. And wow, there you go. Perfectly riced eggs. And this saves you so much time and effort, because most people without this technique would take a knife out of the drawer and start chopping the egg up. And that creates for a very uneven, it's very difficult, it's very time consuming, and so this will give you, so easy to do. And the egg content, the egg salad itself will be beautifully textured, just the perfect chopped texture.
We love, love, love when Sylvia Gagner shares with us some of the really wonderful things that you can do with farm to fork kind of features they have. Greendoorgourmet.com is where you follow them, and Green Door Gourmet on YouTube and Facebook. Lots of great things. Chef Richard is fantastic. And wait till we start sharing some of the fresh strawberry ideas he's got. Coming up, we've got, did you know we're less than a month away from daylight savings? Springtime's around the corner, you guys. Hang on and take advantage of a great weather weekend, because next week it's going to rain every day. So get out, get some vitamin D organically. And I want to say Beyond the Rain is a brand new video from Bronte Fall. We're going to take a look at that right before we talk to her.
I thought twisters took you to a place without any trouble, without sickness, sorrow, pain, or cities of rubble. But I flew high into the eye of a cyclone. Now I find myself in a world I've never known. Behind the moon, beyond the rain, somewhere stars don't ever blaze. Can't go by boat or by a train, somewhere rainbows don't ever gaze. Beyond the rain, I'm beyond the rain. Police cars got empty city parks, and all the bars remain closed. That said, don't you leave your homes, and nobody get too close. The only music are banging pots and pans, and only the foolish believe there's a way back. Behind the moon, beyond the rain, somewhere stars don't ever blaze. Can't go by boat or by a train, somewhere rainbows don't ever gaze. Beyond the rain, we're beyond the rain. Sunny skies and springtime, flowers fill the air, but there's no yellow brick road waiting for us anywhere. Behind the moon, beyond the rain, somewhere stars don't ever blaze. Can't go by boat or by a train, somewhere rainbows don't ever gaze. Behind the moon, beyond the rain, somewhere stars don't ever blaze. Can't go by boat or by a train, somewhere rainbows don't ever gaze. Beyond the rain, we're beyond the rain. Beyond the rain, beyond the
I love turning you on to new music, and we're not held captive to any one genre. And that's good, because our next guest kind of blends that, and she just makes it about the music, which is what we like to do. And we know her as Bronte Fall, but we know that that name came as a creative way to kind of talk about her music. But Terry, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Devin. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, Terry Bracken created a whole new identity for herself. And to be quite honest with you and everybody, I did too. And, coming up with your stage name and your stage identity took on great proportions. You have a real definitive way that you came up with it.
Yes, I do. Yeah, It's funny too. I started my band about, I guess it's 6 years ago now in Chicago. And at the time there was another girl in my band, and we just had a show and we had songs and we needed a band name. And we wanted to keep it like kind of feminine sounding, feminine and cool. And I had remembered the Bronte sisters. I took like a random course, like a gen ed course in college, and like learned about them. And we found a poem. Well, what I liked about them was that they were writers in the 1850s, and they wanted to publish books, and they couldn't because they were women, and they changed their names to male pseudonyms, and then they published their books, and they're like some of the most famous books of all time. So I thought that story of like perseverance is so cool with them. But we ended up finding a poem by Emily Bronte called Fall Leaves Fall. And it starts, fall leaves fall, die flowers away, lengthen night and shorten day. And it's like all about, I will find beauty with the wreaths, when the wreaths of snow like are where the leaves should grow, or like, it's just really pretty. And it's about loving winter and fall. But I just thought that was a cool metaphor for life, like finding the silver lining in our darkness. And I feel like that's what art does, right? Tries to find.
Yeah, absolutely it does. But it also has a way of sharing our story. And I always say that when we share a story as songwriters, very specifically, somehow it hits someone's ears as if you've read their mail. And you had, a lot of people had the pandemic. Everybody's had the pandemic.
Yeah.
But before the pandemic, a lot of people in Middle Tennessee were awakened in the middle of the night very rudely by a tornado. You were one of those people.
Very rudely. Yes. It's so crazy because I am from Illinois. So I'm from Chicago. I haven't like been in a terrible tornado. Well, now I have, but it was like 12 o'clock at night, and I was trying to sleep through the alarms. In my sleep, in my dream, I thought they were like fire trucks. I was like, oh, it's like, stop it. I'm trying to sleep. But then my body like threw itself out of bed. It was like my body reacted to like a large sound above me. And I realized that 2 trees had fallen above my bedroom while I was sleeping. And I lived in this like tiny little house in East Nashville. And I was like standing in the middle of my house while my house shook and like the windows rattled. It was like it sounded like a freight train outside. And I was like, I don't know what's happening right now. Like, I don't know. I was just like, I hope I make it through whatever is outside. And so, yeah, it was so scary. And I was displaced for 2 weeks because the trees took down phone wires, and it was treacherous.
Yeah, East Nashville was one of the big hits, along with Wilson, and then it popped down to Putnam County. So it was just this monstrously destructive and fatal for some people tornado. Yeah. So you were here, and God bless you. I'm so glad that you got through that, but you didn't even have time to turn around before everything shut down and your music career wasn't allowed to move from that spot.
No, it wasn't. And I feel like it was so strange. It was so strange for artists because we suddenly had all this time. We couldn't tour. We couldn't do what we usually do. We had all this time to write, but everything was so heavy. Everything going on was so heavy. It was actually quite hard. It was like almost more pressure. Like, you have all this time and there's all this stuff going on, but it actually just like, it weighed me down a lot. And I only wrote one song during that time period, which is Beyond the Rain.
Well, that song is brand new. You got a video that is debuting today. We're going to actually play it on the show. But Beyond the Rain dealt with another personal issue that a lot of people can relate to. And that is when someone in our family is sick.
Yeah.
And whether it be COVID or, in your case, cancer struck your family and your father. Can you talk about how that played into it? Because you talk about the hat trick of all tragedies and issues to deal with, tornado, pandemic, sickness at home.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tornado externally and internally. Like, I just thought my body and my mind were in a tornado, just all the things happening that you never imagined would happen to you. And that's sort of the theme of my album too, like some of the other songs. Like, yeah, I never imagined a tornado happening, or the world, my career shutting down, the world shutting down, and then my dad getting sick, you know, the strongest man in my life getting sick, and went through a breakup, like all these things that I couldn't imagine would ever happen to me. And then they're happening to me all at the same time. And so it just, and the lyric of the beginning of Beyond the Rain, I thought twisters took you to a place without any trouble. I'm referring to Wizard of Oz. But then I say beyond sickness, sorrow, or cities of rubble. And it's just like all those three things happening all at once. And just trying to make sense of all of it. And you really can't. And that's kind of what the essence of Beyond the Rain is. It's just like all these things happening. We're somewhere beyond the rain, beyond all understanding. So,
well, the interesting thing about your music is that it's poetic, and you've taken something very dark in your own life, but you've made it very therapeutic for the listener. And moving beyond the rain is what we're all doing exactly at this time. And we're hoping we can get past it. So tell me a little bit about where people can find your music and where they can find out a little bit more about you. And you've also got a show coming up on St. Patrick's Day at the Basement, coming back to Nashville.
Yes.
But for those watching elsewhere, you're heading back to your home area.
Yes, I'm heading to Chicago next week. I have a big show February 26th at the Hideout in Chicago, and then Nashville, the Basement on March 17th. Those are my two really big shows. And then, yeah, I'm obviously playing kind of around the Midwest area and going back up to Nashville at the end. So, yeah, but sorry, what was your first question? Oh, where you can find me. I mean, I'm all over the socials, Bronte Fall. I'm even trying to do the TikTok thing. Hashtag millennials on TikTok. But yeah, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, obviously Facebook. And then I'm all over the streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music. So.
Well, we're glad that you spent some time with us today. Bronte Fall, and BRONTEFALL, BronteFall.com. Is it Bronte Fall Music?
It is BronteFall.com.
I thought so, and I second guessed myself at the last minute. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you being with us. And please check in with us. We're gonna play the video. We got a sneak peek earlier in the week, but it is on all platforms where you can find video today. So encourage everybody to follow and subscribe and hit that bell, as I always say. So we find everything new from Bronte Fall. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Devin, so much.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Healing from substance abuse can be a lonely journey, but you don't have to do it all on your own. At Brooks Healing Center, you matter. We're here to lend you love, support, and acceptance on your journey to find yourself again. With medical detox, residential, and partial hospitalization program levels of care, we help you overcome addiction, trauma, and adverse childhood experiences through personalized healing journeys. Our seasoned team of heart-centered staff is here for you with support, compassion, and hope. At Brooks Healing Center, we'll love you until you fall in love with everything you are.
Doesn't that place look peaceful? Brooks Healing Center is bringing us a new segment that's going to start next Friday. It's going to be called Miracles on Main Street. And the miracle of recovery is every day. Do not stop. If you're watching me, listening right now, do not stop before the miracle takes place. Miracles happen every day, and there's no reason you can't be one of them. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the sunshine and know that next week it's going to rain, but we're going to go beyond the rain, as Bronte Fall says. Make sure you check out her, check out the Murfreesboro Home Expo, and don't forget, coming up in March 11th and 12th, EdgeCon a conference for the small business owner with a Christian perspective. It is going to be fantastic. We're going to tell you all about that next week. You can go to edgeconusa.com and remember, use the promo code Devin's Edge to save $100 off your admission. Easy peasy. We're going to talk to the founder of that, Dave Kaufman, next week. It's going to be a big week. Lots of new music coming out and lots of Wagon Tails Wednesday stuff to celebrate and have fun. But mainly, just enjoy the people that you love. Be safe, everybody. Be kind. Remember, most of all, that you are loved. And I'm going to find I know I got to close up here somewhere. There it is, y'all. Right over the finish line. Just right over. Are you with me?
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning, or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together like a Southern Sunday summers,